What's up everybody, welcome back to How It's Done. Today we're going to be showing you how to add an in-garage Tesla charger, wiring it into your panel, mounting it to the wall, and how to make sure that your breaker box is going to be able to support the additional load. We'll show you that today on How It's Done. Do us a quick favor though, before we get into it, like and subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, and click that notification bell for more videos like this. Let's get after it today on How It's Done. So the first thing we need to do is figure out what kind of load is on the panel already. Your Tesla chargers, you can go anywhere from a 60 amp breaker down to a 30 amp breaker. Or we're going to see if we can do this off of 60. If not, we might have to do it off of 40. There's a very complex mathematical factor that you can go into and look at the load demand off of every single one of the devices that's got a dedicated circuit, and then there's a derate factor you can use for the branch circuits. I'm not going to get into that today. Basically all we're going to do is take the panel cover off, hook our clamps up to read the amperage coming in on the mains when we've got everything running. We're obviously not going to be running the garbage disposal or the dishwasher. We're going to run the washer, dryer, air conditioning system because they have gas heat. So that's not a factor, and they don't have an electric oven. But basically all these double pole breakers, whatever's tied to those, well, they only have two double pole breakers, the dryer and the air conditioning. So we'll have those running. We'll turn on lights and ceiling fans and stuff like that and see what the amperage draw is. So we're going to set our tester to amperage, let it zero out. We're looking at 35 amps on the A side, and ooh, it's tricky. See how we can get that in there. Let's see here. There we go. Is it clamped in place? It is, and we're looking at 41 on the B side. We've got pretty much everything in the house on, so 35 and 41. If we add another 40, we're still going to be under the 125 amp, so we should be good. Obviously, this is a very basic way of doing it that a homeowner can do. Alright, so with that information, we know that we can go ahead and put a 60 amp breaker in, and we're going to run number 6 gauge wire to the outlet so that this can be charged. So what we're going to need is for this to be a 2-pole section, so we'll have to move one of these down here. So we'll just disconnect the breaker like that, and then move it down here. Set it back in, turn it on. Good to go. Back on. And we'll just relabel that on the panel cover. And then this is where we're going to put the Tesla charger circuit breaker. Alright, so this is our 60 amp breaker. So we'll go ahead and push that in. Pop that in place, and what we're going to do now is we're going to take a screwdriver and knock this knockout out right here, because there's already some on this side knocked out. So we're going to knock this one out, and then we're going to pop up the little piece that's in there, because we want a 3/4 inch hole so that I can put the 3/4 inch bushing in there so that it doesn't short out against the metal. See? Just like that. Alright, so inside the box, you're going to have the back piece able to be removed by pulling on this. That'll help you pull the back piece out. And then it's got this little template that you can use to kind of see where it's going to be laid out on the wall. So what I'm going to try and do is lay this out so that the stud on the end here is going to get hit by the 2 screws on the side, and that'll allow us to come in underneath here with the power. So I'm going to use a stud finder, mark that out. One of the things you could do, if you're going to do it in the middle of the wall, use some anchors like this. They're kind of like a combination of screw-in anchors / toggle bolts. And then you can use a box to put the wire into. But this is going to act like its own enclosure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and drill out this back corner here so that we have a hole to feed the wires through. Cut a hole in the sheetrock with the sheetrock saw. Once we get this laid out, make sure we're hitting the stud with it. And it does come with 2 really long screws that we can use to get this mounted to the stud. So we'll go ahead and do that right now. Alright, and then once we've got that hole cut, what we can do is take the wire and feed it down through there. And as I start to do that, I realize I did not put the bushing on there yet. So let's do that now. Take our 3/4 inch bushing, looks a little something like this. We'll just slide that onto the wire, slide that down, and that just pops right in place on there. Show you what that looks like. Kind of like that. It just prevents the, turn the flash on. Here, see, it just prevents the sheathing from rubbing against the middle panel. So now what we'll do is we'll strip this back a little bit. We will drill a hole right here in this to feed it through, and then we'll go ahead and screw this to the wall and get it wired up. Alright, so at this point we got the hole drilled. We've got the screws started in here because none of these, they're not actual holes, so we got the screws started. So we can go ahead and get them going through a little bit better there. And we'll feed the wire through that. Get these holes lined up just right. There we go. Put that on the wall now. And now we get to connect it. Now it does come with the Allen that's used, or a tip rather, for the Allen that's used to torque down the lugs. Let me see if I can zoom better. There you go. Alright. Alright, so now we're just going to strip back a little bit of the wire. Okay, and it did come with the tip that you'll be using to tighten this down and get it in place. So I'll get that one in there. That's our first one. That's the ground. Go ahead and get hands for this. That. You know what? I am going to reverse that one and flip that over to the other side, because on there it actually says line 2/neutral. So if for some reason someone wanted to come back and make this 120 volt instead of 240, the white or neutral is going to be used as it was intended. Even though on this one it is going to be a current carrying conductor that has 120 volts to ground. Yeah. And then what I'm going to do is pull this back a little bit more, because really you want the sheathing in there. The only way you would not want to have the sheathing in there is if this was a electrical box back behind there. But since that's not the case, we're going to want the sheathing in there. So now that's made up. So now what we can do is we can actually put this device on there, just like that. And then it comes with 4 screws, 2 for the top and 2 for the bottom, just like this. And what those are going to do is those are going to go right up here and then underneath here. So we'll go ahead and get those made up, and then we'll show you how we're making up the breaker. Alright, so now we've got this stripped back. So the ground is going to be made up to the ground rod. Not the ground rod, the ground lugs over here. So we'll go ahead and do that. That back and behind. Carefully back in there. Made up. Now we'll take our white and our black, which are both going to be current carrying conductors. We'll bring them up. Give them a little bend there. That should be good. Right about there. Put that underneath the breaker. Alright, here we are. And we'll do the same thing with the black one. Nice little bend there. Bring it up, make another bend. There we go. Looks pretty clean. Tighten down. good there. We'll go ahead and put the panel cover back on and turn the breaker on. We should be good to go. All right, so panel cover's on. Flip on the breaker. And it looks like we're good. There we go. Green is good. So yeah, that's how you install a Tesla charger. Using the 60 amp breaker, it is going to charge the fastest. You can downsize it. I'll include a link to the Tesla website that explains what charging rate for different breaker sizes, and it also varies from vehicle to vehicle. So I can't really specifically say how fast it charges with the 60 amp. It doesn't actually pull 60 amps. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this one pulls closer to 46 amps. But because of the continuous load rating, you have to rate it at 125% when it's expected to be running for more than 3 hours. So yeah, that's why we have this set up the way we do. Like and subscribe for more content like this, and we'll see you next time on How It's Done.